The tribulation is a future 7-year period characterized by God's judgment on the world and his discipline of Israel. Here's a detailed explanation of the tribulation and the reasoning behind its 7-year duration. The nature of the tribulation. God's judgment. The tribulation is a time when God will pour out his wrath on an unbelieving world, described vividly in Revelation 6:16 with divine judgments, natural disasters, and plagues. Discipline of Israel. This period is also for the final disciplining and restoration of Israel as part of God's covenantal promises. Removal of the church. Many Christians believe that the church will be raptured before the tribulation begins, pre-tribulation rapture, based on passages like 1 Thessalonians 4:13-18 and 1 Corinthians 15:51-53. This view posits that the church will be spared from the coming wrath. 1 Thessalonians 5:9. Scriptural basis for a 7-year tribulation. Daniel's 70 weeks. Key passage. Daniel 9:24-27 outlines a prophetic timeline known as the 70 weeks, or 77s. Each week represents 7 years, totaling 490 years. Fulfillment. The first 69 weeks, 483 years, span from the decree to rebuild Jerusalem to the death of the Messiah, Jesus Christ. This leaves one final week, 7 years, yet to be fulfilled. The final week. Daniel 9-27. This verse highlights the activities within the last week. A ruler, the Antichrist, will make a covenant for 1 week, 7 years. Midway through this period, he will break the covenant, leading to the abomination of desolation. Mid-tribulation events. Abomination of desolation. Jesus references Daniel 9:27 in Matthew 24:15, indicating the midpoint of the tribulation, 3.5 years in, when the Antichrist will desecrate the temple. Antichrist's reign, Revelation 13:5-7, states that the Antichrist will exercise authority for 42 months, 3.5 years, coinciding with the latter half of the tribulation. Time references in prophecy, 3.5 years. The tribulation is divided into two 3.5-year periods. Daniel 7:25 speaks of a time, times, and half a time, interpreted as 3.5 years, 1,260 days and 42 months. Revelation 11:2-3 and 12.6 refer to 1,260 days, 3.5 years, and 42 months, 3.5 years, aligning with the second half of the tribulation. Additional days in Daniel 12:11-12. This passage mentions 1,290 and 1,335 days, suggesting additional time beyond the 1,260 days, possibly for the judgment of nations, Matthew 25:31-46, and the establishment of Christ's millennial kingdom, Revelation 20:4-6. Summary. The tribulation is a 7-year period in the end times marked by severe divine judgment and significant events fulfilling God's prophetic plan. The duration of 7 years is derived from Daniel's prophecy of the 70 weeks, with the final week being the tribulation. This period will see unparalleled distress, the rise and reign of the Antichrist, and culminate in the return of Christ and the establishment of his kingdom.